All right, E3 is here. EA started off the show with a whimper. This was a very, very bland show. I understand that you can't have big games released every year. That's just not how game development works. There are multi-year cycles. However, you can show teasers and information from upcoming games like Amy Hennig's single-player Star Wars game with an original story. Think about that. If you don't know Amy Hennig, she wrote some of the best stories in the Uncharted series. Uncharted 2 and 3, I believe she worked on, and a bit of 4 as well. They gave her special thanks at the end of Uncharted 4. No mention of that. Nothing. We got Battlefront 2, the single player, some news on that. We got a lot of sports. We got a brand new IP from BioWare called Anthem. We got a indie game that actually has really high production values made from the guy and the team that made Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. And this looks like the big AAA version of that. So that's actually pretty exciting. However, the problem with this conference was not that it was bland. It was that instead of showing a lot of gameplay or even just trailers of games, it was a lot of talking, and it was a lot of bringing in YouTube creators, which is what they're calling themselves now, and game difference makers, and this, they're giving them all these weird corporate buzzwords. This whole conference felt like you work for a company and they're having some sort of motivational meeting and get together, and they're in your face, and your manager's like, "Yeah, aren't you excited? We're really excited." And you go, "No, I'm not. This is just a job. I'm only here because you're my boss." And that's what this felt like. I understand that EA, what they're going for, they want to connect to the gamers by using actual means that gamers use. So a lot of gamers watch YouTube, right? You are watching this on YouTube. Maybe you've downloaded it or watching it offline. That's pretty cool too. But it came from YouTube. So I see what they're going for. However, it's not genuine, because the genuine thing about a YouTube channel is that it's that person's opinion. That's the great thing about it. Well, there are people that will surreptitiously accept payment and maybe not tell you about it. If you see people getting free access to games like Bethesda does with some of their review copies, I wouldn't trust their opinion. That's just me, but I think you lose a lot of credibility when they're cherry picking these people, and they all tend to have great reviews. Anyways, that's what you're getting here, is that they're obsessed with these YouTube people, and here's a bunch of stations, some PlayStation setup. But to me, it's just not genuine. When you show a compilation of all these YouTube players talking about Battlefield and saying how great it is and how different, and they love the community in Battlefield, like, I don't care. I don't believe anything you're saying because you're a part of an EA conference. And that's just how credibility works. You know, when you talk about journalism, if you go to report on something and they offer you anything free, you immediately, credibility is down the drain because you will be influenced. Obviously, you're going to have a slightly colored perception if you go check out, say you go check out EA and they bring you in there and they're treating you well and they flew you out there and they're probably giving you great food and drink and whatever. So that was the biggest problem with the show, is not just that it was lacking what people really wanted to see other than some Battlefront stuff. It was that they just missed the mark with this YouTube thing and reaching out to people, and it just came off so forced and disingenuine, and that was really the worst thing about it. So we got a lot of sports stuff. Let's get into it. Madden 18 is going to have a story mode. Actually, the production and the voice work on it sounds pretty good, I thought. I'll let you hear some of it.
You're not the only one trying to get drafted.
No, man, forget you.
Sounds pretty good, eh?
Devin Wade at the line for the final play.
I thought so. It seems like all their sports games are going to have this story mode now. So if you're into that, I got a question. People that only play sports games, do they watch E3? I don't think they do. I feel like I could just be prejudiced and way off, but I feel like what's to know about? The game comes out every year at the same time. And all they do is see this guy. He said the hilarious thing. Andrew Wilson goes, "I think this is our most innovative Madden in over a decade." That's not a compliment, man. That means you're right. First off, you're absolutely right, because the Madden franchise and these sports franchises that EA pumps out every single year are not innovative. How could they be? No game can be innovative every single year. What they do is they just take features out and then they put features back in. And they go, now we're bringing it back. That thing you already had. So it is nice that they're trying to do something with it and create that story mode. Will people respond to it playing someone else's role? Or will they sort of miss the whole, like, be a player style where it's more like an RPG and you're creating it? I mean, in a lot of ways, it's more of an RPG than a lot of role-playing games, at least ones that have dedicated characters. Anyways, so they talked about Battlefront and how they got a lot of criticism about it. Battlefield is going to have a few new things. They're going to have a couple night maps. In June, they're going to have Nivel Nights and July Paris d'État. Probably pronounced that terribly wrong. The DLC is going to be called In the Name of the Tsar. It's a Russian expansion. There'll be 6 new maps, a Russian army, the Hussar Cavalry, and the Women's Battalion of Death. See, here's this, like, YouTube stuff, you know. Oh, they're hip. They're with it. Anyways, they're showing some big moments. Here's a bunch of YouTubers that obviously are being completely unbiased about what they're saying. That's great. Loop Cow Pass. Jeez, that was tough. I am super hungover right now. If you watched our last channel, I went out and played a wedding, my friend's wedding, and stayed up late, screaming my lungs out. Anyways, they said deeper player progression and specializations, whatever that means. The streamers, if you have a favorite Battlefield 1 streamer, I know you do, they're going to be streaming that map. Here is the trailer for the SAR thing, the SAR expansion. Let's have a look at that.
Услышишь гром.
Snowy.
И вспомнишь обо
There's
мне.
actually a pretty cool scene with a
Гром. И
guy on his
вспомнишь
horse
обо мне.
stabbing somebody. I'll let you see that.
Полоска неба будет твердо алой.
Where is it? There we go. Here it comes. Yeah. That's pretty cool. All right, then they did a lot on FIFA. Holy moly, championship competitiveness, and they're going to be having more championships, and they're going to expand that, and you can play for your own country, and I'm not really into this stuff. Maybe you are, but, you know, I guess that is pretty cool. If you're really into playing competitively, they're taking it seriously, and they should. They brought these 2 guys out, a couple more YouTube guys. These guys are entertaining performers. They were fine. However, it's just talking and talking and talking, and not actually showing much of the game, and then showing a little bit of this Ronaldo stuff. The ratio of people telling you how they feel about a game as opposed to actually showing you a friggin' game was totally lopsided. I'm showing you more gameplay footage than they did in a ratio manner. Oh, look, the girl's mad. Now he's rich. It's like Grand Theft Auto. Oh my god, this part here is... This part was terrible. This is... They got this YouTube guy in who's super cool and super hip. And all he had to do was say his name, the name of the game, and introduce the, what do you got? Call him the CEO guy or the producer and come on and talk. And his teleprompter stopped working. He didn't know what to do. And instead of improvising, he just sort of mumbled a few things, which is strange because he's a YouTube guy. I'm assuming he, look how cool he is. Here he is.
What's up, guys?
Yeah, he talks
Thank
about
you for
homies
having
and
me,
stuff.
EA. If you guys don't know who I am,
Yeah, he's cool.
My name is Jesse Wellens, and I am a YouTube creator. So I am here to talk about Need for Speed Payback. If you guys didn't know, Need for Speed Payback, yeah, it's a great game. But
oh, dear Lord. All right. Well, at least he looked cool. If you were deaf. There, all right. So, the Need for Speed game, you know, this could be cool because Fast and the Furious, although it started off as a joke, has really turned into this monstrously fun movie franchises. And I kind of get some Fast and the Furious vibes from this game. There's a lot of sort of action instead of just being about racing. And I know the Need for Speed franchise has done this before, but I feel like this was getting a little bit closer to it. One thing I didn't like is that when they intercut a lot of this gameplay with pre-rendered crap. But this kind of stuff, like dodging, weaving in and out, that's fun. Like, make a bunch of set pieces around that. There's this thing that happens when the car bashes into another one and takes it out, where it does this, whoa, whoa, you know, like in every trailer you see at the movies now, there's always that shot where something goes over the head in slow motion and the sound cuts out. Every movie, even like animated movies. So that is either a part of, I think that's actually a part of the game because they show it about 6 times. And it's pretty annoying, actually. So, I mean, this is like Grand Theft Auto. This is the mission straight out of Grand Theft Auto 5. Mission, one of the first ones. So that could be interesting. Oh, yeah. So this is the game from the guy who made A Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons. I was going to say Tale of Two Stories, and I switched it really fast. It sounded weird. This is going to be split screen co-op, and you can play online, but you're encouraged to play with somebody on your couch. And this actually looks good because it's, you know, a creator with a vision, and EA is helping and obviously raising up the production values, turning it into a AAA game, but giving them, hopefully, a lot of creative control. This game looks very, very ambitious. The creator came out and was saying that he wanted almost every scene to have a new gameplay mechanic. And when I heard that, I got a little worried because that sounds to me like something a game creator says after a game fails. And they say, yeah, well, we tried to be too ambitious and we tried to make too many game mechanics. Making a game, a lot of it is copy and paste, right? You come up with a core gameplay loop and then you just do that here and do that here and do that here. To create new systems is a lot of work, but that's what this guy wants to do and he looks excited about it. There you go. You can go bum-to-bum climbing, bum-to-bum action in jail. These guys escape from their jail, and then they go and they find their kids and stuff. It actually looks pretty cool.
Everything you do in the game is unique for that scene. We want you and your friend to be focused and engaged.
Go on an emotional journey with your friends. Then they talk about Seed, whatever that is. They showed some 4K footage. They're going to have some stuff on the Microsoft conference. They're pretty excited about Scorpio. What is next? Let's move on. Oh, here we go. This is actually interesting. BioWare's new IP. It is called Anthem. Let's take a look.
Brand new IP from BioWare.
The wall. It's our armor. It protects us from what lies beyond. But out there, you either live with the choices you make, or die trying to change them. Story doesn't end.
That looks pretty cool. The one thing I was worried about is that it's made by on Frostbite technology, and if you read Kotaku's awesome report and my report on Kotaku, Jason Schreier's great report on the investigation of why Andromeda failed, and one of the problems a lot of the developers said was that Frostbite was just not cut out to make these big worlds, and to me that looks like, if not just an action RPG or a large action game. I mean, I haven't really seen any gameplay, some spitballing, but it's BioWare. And the scope they looked like they were trying to convey in that trailer is of a big game. Hopefully they know what they're doing. If it's been in development for a long time, they might have the same problems as Andromeda. So that is pretty much sort of the new stuff. They, more basketball. Here you go. Here's LeBron doing some dribbles with the right stick and the left stick, and then they're talking about defense timing windows. There you go. I mean, you could do that in NBA Live 2002, so cool. Then they have this The One thing where that's your player, but you're not just playing in the court, you're playing on the street, and you're playing in the pro amateur, and your street cred, and you're playing in these classic courts like Venice Beach Court. I'm assuming that's the one they play in White Men Can't Jump. John Boyega is British, didn't know that. So, oh yeah, this girl comes out. Now, she is the voice actor, and I believe she's the voice actor and the character model of the protagonist in Star Wars Battlefront 2's single-player campaign. Very beautiful, very charming, and very genuine. And she comes out with these stormtroopers, and it's a bit weird because she comes out like this, dressed up like her character, and then starts talking like her character.
Hello. I'm Janina Gavankar, and I play Commander Iden Versio, leader of the Inferno Squad in Star Wars Battlefront 2.
And then she breaks and then starts acting normal. It was pretty charming. At first I thought it was going to be kind of weird, but she manages to pull it off pretty well. They don't actually show a lot of the single-player stuff at all. They just go right into the multiplayer. So one of the biggest things from the multiplayer, how about we leave it on her instead of these content creators. Get off these guys. Anyways, here is the biggest announcement, is that Battlefront 2 sounds like it's going to have free DLC. That's right. They didn't say a free season pass, but they did say season-themed content that comes out post-launch. So they worded it very funnily. I don't know if they're trying to get around putting out a free season pass or what the heck they're doing. That looks pretty cool. I think that'll be pretty fun. You know, it really wasn't the single-player campaign I think everybody was clamoring for in Battlefront. It was that I just wanted to play offline against my friend and or online with a friend and control, like, each of us have one army and go head-to-head like you could in the original Battlefront games and have bigger matches and have more epic scale and have better maps is what we really, really wanted. Anyways, so yeah, the DLC I think is going to be free. Another big change is that instead of picking up the cards so you can be a hero, the little icons on the field, or an X-Wing or TIE Fighter, which is so stupid, they should just be there in a hangar. What they do now, and this is even better than just having it in a hangar or picking up a card, is you collect battle points. So normally, if you're playing Battlefront 1, you're going to see these idiots that just kind of run around one area looking to pick up an X-Wing icon or a Darth Vader icon, right? And now you actually have to participate in the match, which makes a lot of sense. It's just a very, very team-based game, 20 versus 20. So by killing people and by capturing these points, you accumulate battle points that you can translate into vehicles, ships, hero characters. That makes a lot of sense. So, oh, my cat just scared me there. Free DLC, new ships. John Boyega is British.
Where's Finn? Finn will definitely be a part of Star Wars Battlefront 2.
What the hell? I had no idea. Normally I can tell. And then they show an actual battle. I don't really like to look at this map. It's, at least the first stage is very open. There's a lot of long-range shooting. I mean, people just getting mowed down. I like when it's more close quarters and you feel like you have a bit more control over your life and it's a bit more tense. It's not just these pew-pew long-range pistol battles. It's not for me. When they eventually get into the Naboo Palace, that actually looks pretty cool. It's a little more... like this, I think this works better for a multiplayer shooter because you're coming around corners and it's a little more reflex-based, a little more Call of Duty. And they had these... Well, I didn't mind this one on the left here, but the guy on the right there is pretty damn annoying. So actually, right at the end, he says something like, "Oh, I thought it was not bad. Just kidding. It was so great." And then he looks down and he reads off his script and he's like, "I thought that the immersive player something things were so good." I'm like, man, I don't want to hear your paid for opinion that EA told you to talk about. Stupid. So, overall, a pretty terrible conference. Very boring, way too long, not enough actual gameplay or even just trailers or just things to get excited about or announcements. They didn't even really announce the free DLC in a way that had a lot of clarity, much like that sentence I just used to describe it. Overall, I would give this a pretty poor rating. It's definitely the worst conference of the E3 so far, and it's the only one I've seen, but dear Lord, I hope the other ones are better. They have much like earlier Maddens, they have a very low bar to beat. So thanks everybody for watching. I'm going to have a video up on every single E3 conference, talking about it, breaking it down just like this. Leave me some comments about, I don't know, other stuff you want to see in the channel or what you thought about this EA conference. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.